Ben McKee, Patrick Brown, Go Vols 24/7 here on campus on Monday of Vanderbilt. I'll say it with my pinky up,
I was
Vanderbilt
wondering when it was
week.
coming.
Uh, I'm sure Jason Swain will say 1,000 times this week. Shout out to old Swaino, number one. Just got done speaking with Josh Heupel and a couple of Tennessee veterans and key playmakers. Spoke with Dylan Sampson, Squirrel White. Also spoke to defensive lineman Bryson Eason, and it is clear they made no bones about it that they understand what is at stake this week. Josh Heupel said that he addressed it with his team today. Dylan Sampson said, let's just call it what it is. It's essentially a playoff game. Everybody in the building understands what we are playing for this week.
Yeah, and I thought Bryson Easton had a good answer. I think it was your question, Ben, about getting Vanderbilt's best shot. And he said, we got to make sure that they get our best shot because if Tennessee gives Vanderbilt its best shot, Tennessee will probably win. I mean, it doesn't get any more clear cut than that. You look at the ESPN rankings, not the rankings, the playoff percentages. If they win, it's 93%. You're in. If they lose, 8% chances. It is a playoff game for all intents and purposes. But I mean, if we were standing here in August and you'd said, "Hey, Tennessee, could beat Vanderbilt to go to the playoff," you would have taken that. Now, obviously, Vanderbilt is better than everyone thought they would be, and that was a big part of what Josh Heupel talked about today. Was he got a lot of Vanderbilt questions, probably more questions than he got about any other team on a Monday all season. So, yeah, this team's got to handle everything. I think it's Heupel has never been one to try to shield his guys from the stakes or the magnitude of games. So, obviously, I don't know. It was the elephant in the room, and he came out and addressed it in the team meeting this morning. And so, I mean, they all know what's at stake, and they just have to handle their business during the week and play well on Saturday.
Yep. And in addition to showing up and making sure that they are ready to play, Dylan Sampson said that, at least he was speaking for himself, but I assume he was speaking for a lot of guys when he said that they are happy that they get to wake up and go play football instead of waiting.
Well, it's going to be 40 degrees, so we'll see how many of them are happy about that.
Yeah, but I think they'd rather deal with that than dealing with it at night after sitting around the hotel all day long, is what Dylan Sampson said. So I got to make sure that they show up and are ready to play, which I think that they will be ready to play. It'll come down to whether they execute or not. And part of that execution is going to boil down to keeping Diego Pavia in the pocket.
Yeah, they can't let him get hot like they did Carson Beck because he's a guy that can torment you. He can make throws. He had a great touchdown pass on, I think, Vanderbilt's first play against LSU the other night. He can obviously extend plays, scramble. They'll use him in the run game. They use a lot of motions and shifts and misdirection, things like that. That'll test Tennessee's linebackers and safeties, and their eyes have got to be in the right spot. And when they're when they're rushing Pavia, something the Heupel said, they have to affect him, but you can't give him escape lanes and ways out of the pocket. That happened a couple times against UTEP, where their quarterbacks were able to get out and make plays on scrambles. So that'll be a key for them. I think that is the key, and Heupel said as much too. Like, Pavia is I don't love this cliche, but he's the head of the snake. You got to stop him. Everybody else in that Vanderbilt offense feeds off him, and if he's out there making plays, we've seen him do it. We've seen him do it at Alabama. They've been a tough out all season because of the way he's played. He's probably beat up, but everybody is this time of year. So he's obviously the key part for Tennessee's defense. And if they're able to kind of do to him what they did to Jalen Milroe, then their chances of winning will be really good. But if they let him get hot like they did Carson Beck, the chances of you losing goes up too.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I know Tennessee fans are very worried about this game. I've heard and seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, it'd be the most Tennessee thing ever to turn around and lose to Vanderbilt." But I think it's a good thing that Tennessee is, addressing all that's at stake head on this week, and they are treating Vanderbilt like a true rival and understand that they are going to get their best shot. I would be surprised if Tennessee loses because they weren't ready to play. If Tennessee loses on Saturday, it's because they didn't play well or execute.
This Vanderbilt team has been tough out all season. I mean, they've only had 5 losses, right? Before them have been one-score games. So they've been a lot of games. They've been hard to put away. I mean, you look the other night, LSU looked like they had scored a touchdown to go up 28-10. It gets overturned. They kick a field goal. Vanderbilt fakes a punt, gets a big play, scores. It's 24-17 with 7, 8 minutes to go. They obviously kept going. They fell behind Texas, but kept coming back. So and they beat Alabama and Auburn. So this is a team that's been a tough out. You're going to have to play hard for the entire game. You're going to have to execute like you said. And Heupel didn't say it today, but he probably will at some point this week. You just got to do the ordinary things. He said it so much that he's even noticed that he's saying it so much.
As I say all the
but
time.
it's true. I mean, you just got to do the little things. And, if the guy's open, hit him, throw it to him. If you're open and the ball's thrown to you, catch it. Play clean. Don't turn the ball over. Little things like that. So that's what it's going to boil down to, Ben. But, yeah, I don't think this one is going to be an easy 3.5 to 4 hours for Tennessee fans. You might be on edge for a while. It might not be pretty a lot. But that's the beauty of the situation, is that whether Tennessee wins 10-7, 35-34, just win. That's all that matters. That's all you got to do. It's hard to pick a scenario where Tennessee wins this game and doesn't get in, but you still got to go win the game, and that's what's out in front of this team this week.
No doubt we'll have plenty of coverage of it all week long at GoVols247.com. He's Patrick Brown. I'm Ben McKee.